At this moment in the service, we take a moment to pause for gratitude. Our lives are filled with blessings, and when we intentionally take the time to pause and reflect, our eyes can be open to how blessed we are to be here in this moment. This week, I've been thinking a lot about gratitude, not the easy kind that comes when life is smooth, but the deeper kind that appears when life reminds us just how fragile life is. Last week, I had the privilege to be in Israel with my son Michael and his girlfriend Danny for the 2-year remembrance of October 7th and for the signing of the peace treaty. 2 years since the day that changed everything, and perhaps now a day that might change everything again. At the memorial in Tel Aviv, 30,000 people gathered. We sat up front with the families still grieving and the families waiting for their loved ones to come home. Story after story, I listened to a mother speak about her son who was kidnapped. For 2 years, she has held on to hope that he might still be alive. As she spoke, her voice broke under the weight of that hope, and I cried for her son, for every parent who's lived that nightmare. Just 2 days later, in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, thousands gathered with hope after the announcement of a signed deal. And then on Shabbat, we were invited to the home of a young family. The mother had made Aliyah from Russia to build a better life. She had just given birth to a baby girl, Luna. She laughed and said, "As a Russian and an Israeli, I might be the most hated person in the world." And then she smiled and added, "But now that I have Luna, I have hope. I'm going to fight for a better future for her." That moment stayed with me. Because in just a few days, I witnessed the fullness of what it means to be human, the deepest grief and the brightest hope standing side by side. It reminded me that gratitude and pain can coexist. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is okay. It means recognizing what is sacred, even when sometimes it isn't. So yes, as strange as it sounds, I'm grateful even for these difficult years. Grateful for what grief has taught me. Grateful for how loss has deepened my appreciation for what I still have. Grateful for the remaining living hostages who are now able to hug their families, just as I, every morning, get to hug my family. For the trip I shared with my son and Danny, and for this community, also my family, that shows up for one another when it matters most. And now, as the hostages are home, and we begin rebuilding a better future for Israel and for our communities here, may we hold on to that sense of family. And maybe that's what gratitude is, not the absence of sorrow, but the awareness, even in our sorrow, that life continues, with the courage to keep believing, to keep hoping, and to keep building a better tomorrow. Modim amnachnu lach. We offer our thanks to you, infinite source of life, who fills our lives with moments of reflection that lends us gratitude. Amen.